Today, I want to deliver a message from the new coalition government of Britain directly to the millions of people around the world who are battling against poverty, disease, and injustice. Our message is this: the people and government of Britain are on your side, and we will use every tool in our policy armoury — aid, trade, climate policy, diplomacy, business investment, and more — to champion justice, freedom, fairness, and prosperity for you. And I want to convey a message directly to the hard-working taxpayers of Britain. Your contribution to our life-saving UK aid budget imposes a deep responsibility on this government and on me as the Secretary of State for International Development to deliver and demonstrate value for money in aid. I will work night and day to honour that commitment. To those big messages, I had a third, which I addressed to another audience, to all those involved in international development. Be prepared for change. Not a change in our levels of compassion, nor in our understanding of the deep value of international development. Rather, a change of approach, a fundamental change that empowers people, that creates and sustains wealth rather than simply redistributing it. A change in how we position development in the 21st century. So it is here with you today that I will set out how we will apply our coalition government's shared values to the great cause of international development. I will argue, firstly, that global poverty both affronts our moral conscience and is a direct threat to Britain's vital national interests. Secondly, that well-spent UK aid is amongst the most effective investments we can make, but that we need radical steps to ensure that our aid achieves all it can. And thirdly, that transparency, accountability, responsibility, fairness, and empowerment will be our watchwords. Fourthly, I will announce two new concrete steps we will take to achieve this: the creation of an independent aid watchdog and our commitment to a UK aid transparency guarantee. And fifthly, I will argue that although aid is important for development, we must use the whole of the British government's policy spectrum to tackle global poverty. The imperatives of creating wealth and tackling misery, exploitation, and poverty are hardwired into the British DNA. Our vision will always be about making life better for the poorest people in the poorest countries, as simple and as complex as that. It is worth reminding ourselves of the scale of that challenge which confronts us. 8.8 million children die before the age of 5 each year. 500,000 women die due to complications in pregnancy or childbirth. More than a third of children in Africa are short for their age due to malnutrition. This stunting affects brain development. 72 million children are missing out on primary education. Every day, nearly 25,000 children die from easily preventable diseases. More than 33 million people are infected with HIV/AIDS. There are more than 14 million AIDS orphans in sub-Saharan Africa, more than all the children in Britain. Every hour, over 300 people become infected with HIV, and 225 people die from AIDS, and 31 of these are children. Clearly, we must act, and act now, to right these wrongs and end this terrible waste of human potential. But promoting global prosperity is also firmly in Britain's national interest. We are all in this together. If we don't tackle the root causes of our problems, we will spend much more time in future trying to deal with the symptoms. Development is good for our economy, our safety, our health, our future. It is, quite simply, tremendous value for money, the best return on investment that you will find anywhere in government. There is clear evidence to show that effective aid works miracles. In 2007-08 alone, British aid trained more than 100,000 teachers, supplied just short of 7 million anti-malaria bed nets, vaccinated 3 million children against measles, brought clean water to almost 1 million people, provided electricity to close on 200,000 people. And just look at this statistic. British aid pays for 5 million children in developing countries to go to primary school every day. That's roughly the same number as go to primary school in Britain, yet it costs only 2.5% of what we spend here. That is real value for money. Of course, there are those who argue that in these difficult times, aid and aspiration are inevitable casualties of austerity, collateral damage. I disagree. This is a time to reaffirm our promises to the world's poor people, not abandon them. We won't balance the books on the backs of the world's poorest. We resolved in our coalition programme for government to honour our commitment to spend 0.7% of GNI on overseas aid from 2013 and to enshrine this commitment in law. We will keep aid untied from commercial interests and maintain DFID as an independent department focused on reducing poverty. We will stick to the rules laid down by the OECD about what spending counts as aid. To the British taxpayer, I say this: our aim is to spend every penny of every pound of your money wisely and well. We want to squeeze every last ounce of value from it. We owe you that. And I promise you as well that in future, when it comes to international development, we will want to see hard evidence of the impact your money makes, not just dense and impenetrable budget lines, but clear evidence of real change. Tackling the scandal of maternal mortality is particularly important. 500,000 women die during pregnancy or childbirth every year, a figure that has barely fallen in the past 2 decades in many regions. So we will work to strengthen health systems and family planning facilities in developing countries, including taking steps to improve access to well-trained midwives and emergency obstetrics care. Independent evaluation of British aid is absolutely crucial. There is something a bit too cosy and self-serving about internal evaluation. Reviews that focus on process and procedure miss the real issue. What did the money achieve? What change resulted from it? How were lives made better? We need a fundamental change of direction. We need to focus on results, on outputs and outcomes, not just on inputs. So today I can announce that we have taken the first steps towards creating a new independent aid watchdog to review the effectiveness of DFID programs. And we will modify the way that programs are designed so that gathering rigorous evidence is built in from the day they start. We will never maintain support for our growing aid budget unless we can offer to the British public independently verified evidence that it is being well spent. The philosophy of empowerment will also be central to our approach. We want poor people to be masters and owners of the international development system and not passive recipients of it. If empowerment is a key component of big society development, then so too is transparency. Transparency for the taxpayer and transparency for the recipient. This is an agenda that President Obama has led in the US. Indeed, USAID's Administrator, Raj Shah, has promised to usher in an era of extreme transparency. So today I'm pleased to announce a new UK aid transparency guarantee that will make our aid fully transparent to citizens both in the UK and in recipient countries. The UK Aid Transparency Guarantee will help to create 1 million independent aid watchdogs, people around the world who can see where aid money is supposed to be going and shout if it doesn't get there. The guarantee commits us to publishing full information about DFID projects and programs on our website in a way that is user-friendly and meaningful. I see DFID as a key, joined-up, integrated department, a bright star in the Whitehall constellation, a department of state for development in the developing world. That's why DFID has a seat at the cabinet table, and it's why I won't be satisfied until our message rings down the corridors of each and every department in Whitehall. So now, as our coalition government starts on its agenda for change, let us bring international development to the forefront of our efforts. The prize is great: a better life for millions of people and a safer, more prosperous world for Britain. Thank you very much.